In a world with flat screen TVs, instant access to anything your little green heart desires, and scary creatures in your walls, it can be hard for one to fall asleep. But fear not, man's deepest question has finally been answered. What happens if a queer POC with autism started a podcast where he talks you to sleep with his delusional rants while you sit there with your fat gut out? You get
Bedtime with Major's Bedtime with... Welcome to the first episode of Bedtime with Major. I'm your host, Major Capone, I guess you could call me. If you probably know me from the main podcast. This is a separate thing that I'm doing. Just sort of starting it out. So I have no idea how this is gonna go. It's all improv. Just a heads up, 90% of the things I say on this podcast are gonna be jokes. I'll make it very clear. For people who don't understand that, I'll make it very clear when I'm being serious. But anyways, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this podcast, to be honest. I don't even know if it's like if the software I'm using right now is actually recording correctly. It might be a little bit out of sync for the video, but that's fine. It's whatever. You guys just need the visuals. I mean, like the monkey-brained people, like the common denominator, the monkey-brained common denominator. Imagine. Watch me stutter this entire podcast. Watch me stutter the entire time, by the way. But anyways, the common denominator just needs the visual. That's why I'm doing this. That's the only reason why I'm doing video. I would have done audio, but I'm doing visual because so you can see me doing this. Hi. Currently it's off of a webcam, so we just gotta deal with it. But yeah, I have no idea if I'm gonna have like guests on this podcast. I have no idea. I might have segments in the future, like planned out segments. Like we'll have like a segment where we look at the news, or the segment where we answer questions, or yada yada. But for now, I'm just gonna sit here and we're gonna just shoot the shit. I'm gonna talk you to sleep, like the intro said. By the way, I hope you liked the intro. I worked with multiple people on that. That was pretty solid. For the guy who did the voice, thank you. I'll probably link him in the description, along with the podcast that I'm mainly on with my friend. If you don't know, you probably do know, because you're probably coming from that. But anyways, yeah, welcome to Bedtime with Major. I hope you're covered up in a blanket. I hope you have like a nice warm glass of milk. I was gonna brew up some tea, but I didn't, because this is very, like I said, this is very improvised. And let me look at myself. Anyways, yeah, like I said, this is very improvised. I don't even know, I might just go on these like delusional rants where they just spark off into like different other, like they just branch off. Like one thought starts, and then another thought will just start, and then start, and then start, and then start. But yeah, so I guess I should just start off with my day. I'll start your little sleepy time off with my day. So I got up and I went to work. This is already a very good start to the podcast, is all I'm saying. This is a very good start to the podcast. But no, I got up 2 days ago. I had ribs. Tonight I had spaghetti. This is a really stupid podcast. I don't know why I'm doing this. Do you like that effort, folks? Do you like the effort of me saying I had spaghetti today and then 2 days ago I had ribs? Do you like the effort already? Because I think you're gonna love this podcast. We're already like 3 minutes in, maybe 4. I have no idea. Let me check the time actually. Okay, it's like 8:30 right now, so we'll see if we can even hit like 9:20 or whatever. But anyways, yeah. I've been on a cut actually. Let me just tell you my whole life. Right? I've been on a cut, a diet, as they would say. And I was speaking of diets, my boss that I work at. By the way, I work at a you know those radio towers you see with like the blinking lights? I climb those and then I replace the light bulb on it. The red blinking light bulb. I climb all the way up there, no matter what. If it's icy, if there's rain, I have to climb up there with my buddies. But anyway, so my manager, my boss, he's on like a keto diet, and I was just thinking, they just made me think about diets. You know, like I tried a keto diet one time and I almost died. No, I'm just saying that to fucking blow things out of proportion, but yeah, you can die on a keto diet if you don't do it right. There's this thing called keto sickness where you get like flu-like symptoms from it. So it's like, I don't know if something makes you feel flu-like and it's supposed to be good for you, maybe it's not that good. Maybe it's just not that good for you. If starting a diet makes you throw up in the toilet, shit out of your ass, perhaps that's not the best diet for you. But I don't know. I'm not a dietitian. The last time I was at a doctor for a diet, they told me just to eat salads. And if you only eat salads, you're an animal. You're a beast. If somebody sustains themselves only off of salads, you have to get mentally evaluated. Because salads aren't even that good at all. The last time I ate a salad was when I was on keto. I was on the keto diet, and I ate a salad from a place called which is like a sandwich shop. It's like better than Jimmy John's, better than Subway, but not as good as like Firehouse, I guess, depending on your opinions. But anyways, yeah, I had a salad from which and it actually gave me PTSD, because the thing with keto diet is that the whole idea of keto diet, oh, excuse me, fucking burped right in the front of the microphone. Anyways, the whole idea of the keto diet is that you're basically cutting out carbs, you're cutting out sugar, and you're replacing your main energy source in your body with fat. So I just took it like you depending on like how much money you have, it's a classist diet, to be honest. It's a classist diet, because depending on how much money you have, there's only like a few things you can go out and get. I went to Aldi, I had avocados, I had bacon. The keto diet is just peanut butter, it's avocados, it's bacon, that's it. Maybe chicken, but it's gotta have no it's gotta have no skin on it. Fried or unfried, you just can't have skin on the chicken. I don't think you can eat red meat, because red meat has red meat has what has it got? What's it got? It has like fat in it, and then you will want to replace your energy source with fat. But anyways, yeah, so it's just bacon, it's avocados, it's just trash. You know, and for like a really long time, I tried that for like a month, and I still have PTSD from it. You know, I can't eat avocados. Every time I look at an avocado, I like feel like throwing up. But back to my point with the salad from which is that I had this type of cheese, and I don't remember what type of cheese it was on the salad, but it was a bacon salad, and it had croutons on it. And I remember I had to pick out every single individual crouton, because croutons is just pieces of bread, and you can't have bread. Had a crouton. Had a carb. You can't have that on a keto diet. You can't have it. So yeah, I remember individually picking off the croutons, and I had and it was like, yeah, I think it was it starts with like a F. Look it up. There's like this cheese on this salad, and it's just the most disgusting. It's like you know, smegma. It's like that. That's what the cheese is like. Salad cheese. Let me see. Let me just look up salad cheese. What kind of cheese is used in salads? I think it's feta. I think it was feta. Yeah, it was feta. It was feta cheese. So I have this thing now where like if I just thinking about it, I feel like throwing up, dude. I'm not even joking. Like I have actual like PTSD from this keto diet that I tried back in like 2020. Oh, my dog's barking. But anyways, no, but yeah, I remember I have this thing now where like if I try to eat like feta or salads that are too like wet, I guess you could say, or bacon and salad or avocados. Bacon is not that good to me anymore. It's not that bad. You really can't ruin bacon. It's like it's like that internet meme back in 2012 or the era of 2010 to 2014 when they praised bacon and narwhals and the narwhal bacons at midnight is what you would use to identify your fellow Redditor. And I don't know what my point is. I don't know what I'm doing right now. But you really can't ruin bacon if you tried. I saw this video years ago, this guy trying a keto diet, but he only ate bacon. And he only ate bacon for like an entire month, and he lost like 30 pounds. And it's like, how are you not dead? You know, but that's America for you. America's a crazy place. I mean, the fact that like you can like go to like there's multiple restaurants out there where you can just walk up and you can ask for like a hamburger covered in bacon, got like melted cheese on it, got cheese in the meat. You go to there's like this restaurant in downtown. You can get like a Juicy Lucy. That's what they call it. And it's this hamburger with just like hot, like steaming hot, like you will burn your mouth, hot cheese on it, and you just bite into it and it explodes. Sorry for my slurping there. I salivate a lot. But that's America for you, you know. There's just a lot of messed up things that happen in this country. And I'm sure you already know about it. I mean, we all lived through it. I mean, like in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and now 2023. Isn't it crazy how like one of the biggest pre-COVID, like one of the biggest stories was Epstein going away, and then after Epstein, everything just went bad. And so it's like, what kind of like the divine intervention is that, where like you take out a convicted well, you know what, quote unquote kills himself, and then the world gets punished? I mean, what would happen if they let him say what he was gonna say? I don't know. Who's they? I'm not saying he didn't kill himself, so I don't even know who them is. But regardless, this country, there's just a lot of messed up things in it, you know. Yeah, I'm sure it was nice on his island. I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was nice. Yeah, America's the type of place where like you send your kid off to Epstein Island for a free trip to Hawaii. It's a nice place. I don't blame them. It's a nice place to vacation in. You got Maui. You got Honolulu. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Okay, well, speaking of podcast, it's my hairy leg in the camera. Anyways, speaking of podcasts, there's this podcast that I really like. It's not really a podcast, actually. It's like a documentary. On my main podcast I have with my friend Michael, we had an episode right after. This is like a rabbit hole, by the way. What I'm about to mention is a rabbit hole. So if you don't know anything about this, please do your research after you listen to this podcast. Anyways, So me and my friend on our main podcast, we made an episode during the whole Chris Chan debacle, which if you don't know, basically a very, 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 very quick synopsis of Chris Chan. They are a trans autistic person that has recently been locked up for having relations with their mother who has dementia. So if you didn't know that information, I'm glad to share it with you. I'm glad to be the first person to share it with you. But anyways, yeah, so I'm listening to this documentary about them because if you won't believe me when I say this, it's going to sound like I'm gaslighting you. Chris Chan is the most documented person in history. Like, there's no, like Adolf Hitler wasn't documented as much as Chris Chan. You understand? Like, this person is like so documented that like we have like going back to their birth in every single year of their life, from like whenever they were born, like 1980 whatever, to now, we have every single like day of like their life is basically documented. But yeah, so there's this documentary that has there's an audio form on Spotify, and then there's also a visual form on YouTube, and it's made by this guy named Gino Samuel. I recommend you check him out. He's nice. But anyways, it's like a 72 part documentary. I've listened to every single episode. Every episode's like 40 minutes long, so that I've consumed about 3 days straight of Chris Chan's life, condensed into a documentary. And in the last audio episode, there's this part. Oh, hold on, my cat's trying to get out, I think. Okay, never mind. In the last episode that's been released, there was this part, and by the way, her name's Christine. It was Christine, you know. But there's this part where Christine is like showing the audience something out of her window, and you can hear her mom in the background talking. And in the video, you see her just turn back really fast, and she's like, "I told you not to talk." While she's playfully demanding her mom to not talk as she's pointing the camera out, or as she's recording, I should say. But with what happened in the future, I feel like there was like some abusive thing going on. I feel like there was like an abusive relationship happening in this dynamic that we had of Christine and what's her name? It's like Diana or something. Whatever. Yeah, but and then I was just thinking, like, what if it just got really dark after that? What if it got super dark? Like the camera like goes out of her hand or something, and it like goes into like this shot of just like the entire, like a long wide shot of the living room that she was in, and she just turns around, right? And she walks up like real like stomp, because like Christine is like 6 foot something, like 300 pound, like just this beast of a lady, right? And like she's just like the real, just slow, just like, hey, you know, like her face goes like her face goes like this. Like she does the Kubrick stare, staring through her eyebrows, like a 1,000-yard stare, like Full Metal Jacket. And she walks up. Okay, she walks up to her mother, her mother with dementia, her like 70-year-old mother with dementia, right? And she stares at her and says, hey, didn't I fucking tell you? Didn't I fucking tell you to not talk while I'm recording? And she reaches behind her skirt, right? And the wide shot is still, the shot is behind Christine's mother's head, right? And Christine is looming over her. So She reaches behind her skirt. Christine reaches behind her skirt, right? She pulls out a fucking gun. She puts the gun, the cold metal, to her demented mother's skull. She pulls out her white cock. Taint piercing and all. Or, sorry, clit piercing, as she would call it. And she goes, suck it. And Christine's demented mother proceeds to give the most sloppiest, just disgusting, dirty head to Christine. Like, it's so dirty that, like, afterwards, Christine has to, like, go to the bathroom, like, wipe her butt, because, like, there's slobber just going all the way down. And as this is playing out, the camera starts to tighten into Christine's face as she points her eyes up to the camera and looks into it. And it's like getting closer and closer, just very, very slowly. And Christine is like not breaking, she's not blinking, nothing. She's not breaking eye contact at all. And the camera gets uncomfortably close. As you can still hear like the slopping sounds. And then and then Christine, well, you know what? I mean, like, if you're getting that type of head, you're enjoying it very much. You're going to reach that point. Christine reaches that point, and she goes like that, like she does that, like that guttural, just like as not breaking eye contact, not blinking, nothing, not even turning red. And then she breathes the relief. She goes, and then she goes, "This has been Christine Chandler from Ruckersville, Virginia." And then that's the end of the video. What if the video went to that point? What if it just went to that point? We have audio recording of Christine Chandler talking about her relations. I did not mean that was a slip of the tongue. I am sorry. Okay, you can't cancel me. I'm a queer POC with autism. You can't cancel me. You can't. I'm uncancelled. Watch me be the one person that's like this that Hollywood doesn't mess with. Imagine that. Imagine if I went trans and I'm the one trans person that Hollywood doesn't mess with because of whatever I said on this podcast. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, we have audio recording of Christine Chandler talking about her relations with her mother. And the person who exposed her is arguably worse. The person who exposed her is a puppy killer. So let's just get this straight. There's no good people, there's no good guys in this situation. There's zero good guys in this situation at all. All right? So, and this is what my original point was. Is America is just full of just these degenerate people, just these horrible things. Just like one horrible, like it takes a worse thing to kill a bad thing, if that makes sense. Just these horrible, just like one thing after the other, you know. And it's just like we're vapid. We make everything into a spectacle. Everything, even killing, even when we kill people, we make it into entertainment. We make it into a game. There's like 1,000 videos of like there's like 1,000 videos of the Taliban just getting like Taliban members that are like, it's a holy war. You know how like over there they're like it's a holy war, right? There's just thousands of videos of just like them getting drone striked after they're praying. And like there's some videos where like you'll see them praying, right? And then like at the very last second they'll realize like, oh, I have to save myself. And then they get up and they turn around and they run away, and they still get shot to death. They still get blown up. They get blown up into smithereens. And it's just like And you hear like the pilots, they're like, whoa, we got him, whoa, hey, yo, bogey down, you know what I mean? Like they're like celebrating. There's like, I can imagine them with like beers, like a football game. Like they have nachos, it's like a Super Bowl thing going on. Mission control in there, like chest bumping and, like, oh, and that's the most American thing you can get, though. America is so vapid and so for sport that we've pinned other countries against each other. Like the Contra Wars in the 80s, fueling crack cocaine coming back up here. We just play games. The entire history of America is just us playing games with other people and us seeing what can we do to make things more fun. That's it. That's the American way. It's us just being more fun. Let's see what we can do to make things a little interesting. Let's stir up the pot. Let's stir up the pot. Right now, we're having there's like World War III is about to happen. This is not even a joke, actually. World War III is actually about to happen. And people are talking about giraffes. They're talking about nukes. Putin today was like, hey, I'm going to put a pause on our nuclear agreement. To us, he put a pause on the nuclear agreement that he wouldn't use nukes. Now he can use nukes. Right now, there could be a giant flashing light going into my room of a Russian nuke because Putin just put a pause on the treaty that he signed. Who's letting this guy go? Everybody around Putin is like, hey, stop doing what you're doing. And he's still going. Who's letting that? There was like a coup. There was a coup in plan in Russia to poison Putin. This was like a big thing. Like in the start of the Ukraine war last year, there was like a big coup. Like Ukraine intel was like, hey, we spotted like there's like a Russian informant that's saying that they're planning on poisoning Putin so that he'll die and then we can put some other guy in power. But the thing is like, what? I just don't understand how like we just let my dog's barking. We just let these people, like, these are insane people. Just these insane people into power. And I don't know. I don't understand how we let them do that, I don't get it. Then again, a corpse is running the country. And it shows you how competent Trump was. It shows you how competent he was because he let a corpse run the country. He let a corpse win over him. An orange kettleball. Like that man is shaped like a kettleball with billions of dollars. Mar-a-Lago estate, getting raided by the FBI, doesn't get caught, tries to get what do they call it? Tries to get impeached multiple times, doesn't go through. Loses against a corpse. An arguably more racist corpse, by the way. Even now, even when he was a president. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids. This country's going to Hades in a handbasket because of gay marriage. He didn't want gay marriage to go through. Do you understand, people? That it's all the same? The whole point, you know what the big moral of this pilot episode is to turn off the networks. Just completely, that's what I do. I completely disconnect from every news source ever. I get my news from Twitter. Okay? That's my only news source. That I go to seek out news is Twitter. Other than that, I'm just in my own world. I'm in my own head. I'm doing my own thing, like this. Like Bedtime with Major. That's what's happening now, is that I'm just doing this and just disconnect, because it's all the same. Every politician wants the same thing. Trump wanted to ban assault rifles. Biden wants to ban assault rifles. Trump started taking people out of Afghanistan. Biden took everybody out of Afghanistan. Why did we go in the first place? 9/11? Really? Is that why it went in? Because there was weapons of mass destruction and George Bush lied about it? George Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction. George Bush got lied to by whatever his name is. Oh, I forgot his name. It's the Vice guy. You know the movie Vice? What's his name? Warren Buffett? Is it Warren Buffett? Oh my god. Hold on. No, it can't be. Let's look up the movie. No, it's not. It's Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney made money off of the Iraq War. Okay? Dick Cheney lied to George Bush. This is why you don't put like a billionaire. This is why you don't put some evil oligarch billionaire as in charge of Secretary of Defense, because he will lie for his own profit. He wants oil. He wants cobalt. Just like Elon Musk in Africa, his home continent, making children mine for cobalt. This is the same people. They all have the same goal. They all have the same goal. You get everybody in an office with the same thoughts, the same goal, and you give everybody an illusion of choice. I know this sounds very buzzwordy, but you give everybody an illusion of choice. This is what you get. This is the result. Is World War III. Nobody cares because either nobody believes it's going to happen or we've all just given up. We've all just given up. I mean, so many bad things happen in succession, you just start to get used to it. It's like we're programmed now. We're programmed to expect bad things to happen. We go into a year where nobody this year, nobody said, 2023 is going to be my year, or 2023 is going to be a good year. Nobody said that. Did you notice that? Nobody said that this year at all. Everyone posted Happy New Year. Nobody said this is going to be a good year. 0 people said that. So it kind of makes it think maybe we're a little used to bad things happening. Because we are just in this constant... I mean, it goes further back than Trump. Nixon wanted to ban all pistols, all pistols except for law enforcement. He wanted to ban that. Nixon was extremely anti-gun. Isn't that crazy? In fact, I'm pretty sure... was it Eisenhower or was it FDR? Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure there was actually a staged coup. I'm pretty sure there was a staged coup against Dwight D. Eisenhower, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, anyways, I'm pretty sure there was like a staged coup against that by one of his like buddies. And by the way, Dwight D. Eisenhower, I think he was president. Was he president in the 50s or the 40s? Presidency years. There we go. So from 1953 to 1961, I'm pretty sure it's either the president before him or Dwight D. Eisenhower had a look this up. I'm serious. One of the FDR or Eisenhower, one of these two. It was either the World War II one or the 50s one. One of these guys had a coup actually, which by the way, a coup is like a overthrowing of the government, staged against them by like either one of their rivals or one of their like side guys, like one of their buddies. And this almost went through. I'm pretty sure it was like some neo-Nazi stuff or something, but it almost went through. And right after, JFK coming in here, he's the young guy, he's the nice guy, he's doing things for people, he's going to Vietnam, he's saying the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, or whoever says that. He's probably not him, but he probably quoted somebody from before, whatever. It's all, there's no originality. Anyways, this isn't even original, but anyways, JFK comes in, he's the cool guy, he's with he's hitting it, he's with Marilyn Man, he's with Marilyn Monroe. I almost said Manson. Can you imagine that? Anyways, He's with Marilyn Monroe, and he's hitting it every day. He's hitting it. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Every day. He's hitting it. And guess who catches a bullet in the back of his head? And guess who was at the JFK assassination the day he got shot in the head? Guess who was in the crowd? Mr. Bush. Mr. George W. Bush, the father of George Bush, who was president 30 years after. So, I don't know. If you look at the photos, this is getting really conspiracy. This podcast took a huge turn. But anyways, dude, if you look at the photos, hear me out. Let me see if this is recording. Oh, okay. If you look at the photos of right after, when they're like in the airport, right after JFK gets shot, his wife is in the airport, right? Forgot her name, Jill, something like that. I don't know, whatever. They're in the airport, and I think like one of his buddies that was running with him in the campaign or whatever is smiling right next to the wife, covered in blood still, by the way. She didn't change her clothes for like days because she was in shock. But the guy next to her is like smiling. He's happy. He's having a jolly old time after he just saw his buddy get shot up. Not even shot up. One bullet to the back of the head. The fact that people say that there wasn't two shooters is insane to me, because it's actually provable. Actually, multiple people have proved it. There's 40-minute videos on YouTube, on the internet, in colleges that prove that the magic bullet theory is wrong. Not only wrong, but it's provably wrong. And you can prove that there was more than one shooter. If you hear the time between shots, they're too fast for somebody who just picked up. Oswald did not act alone. He didn't act alone. If you listen to a confession, the confession right after he shot the president, the police brought him into confession, Mr. Oswald, and he denies killing. I don't know if he denies. No, yeah, he denies killing JFK for Cuba. He's like something for Cuba. And if you take that line, if you cut that line out and you splice it, right, and you put it in Logic, or you put it in FL Studio or Audacity or wherever, just wherever you can reverse it, he says, "I wish to kill president." So if that doesn't prove my point, then nothing will. But no, it's just weird how like it's just like it's one of those things where like it is 100% the conspiracy theories aren't theories. They're just facts. Like, it's just one of those things where it's 100% that was a setup. The CIA definitely had something to do with that. And I could go down this rabbit hole, I really could, but I'd probably end up with a bullet in my head as well. So just to make sure I don't, just to make sure the CIA doesn't come in here and put a bullet in my head, right? Just to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm not going to get Jeffrey Epstein. I just want to let everybody know I have no intentions of killing myself. So if I end up with a little piece of lead in my head, it was the CIA. I'm not even joking. If I run out, that's what happened to the guy who made a water engine that runs on water. He ran out after having coffee with like two little like CIA like little journalists, quote unquote journalists, man. But after running out, after having coffee, he collapsed in front of a diner. And the 2 journalists followed him out there, and as his last words were, "I was poisoned. This was the CIA." And then he died. And then they were like, "Oh, he died of a heart attack." Of a heart attack. The man who created a engine that runs on water died of a heart attack. I'm surprised they were even able to make renewable energy this year. Because now we have it. We have nuclear renewable energy. We have infinite energy sources. Right now. We have it. Look it up. It happened. I'm sure you saw it. It was earlier this year. And they just didn't talk about it after that. They just never talked about it. They just never talked about it. We literally have infinite energy. And they just swept it under the rug. Hey, look at this balloon. Look at this balloon in the sky. Wouldn't it be crazy if we shot that down? Meanwhile, there's some guy in like Oklahoma. He's making like a light bulb that never goes out. And guess who else is getting shot down? That guy. That guy's getting shot in the head. There is going to be a red marker on him, a red laser dot, a red laser sight. And he's not even going to hear it coming because it's going to be a sniper bullet. By the way, speaking of sniper bullets, apparently, like last month or like very recently, in California, there's been like people hitchhiking and there's been like 2 people who've been shot by like a random hunter, like a random sniper, and they haven't caught the guy yet. So there's some guy out there. If you're in California right now and you're hitchhiking right now, drop to the ground. Drop to the ground. Cover your head. Because there is a sniper aimed at your head right now. Right now. You don't believe me? That's fine. You won't see it coming. When sniper bullets, they hit you and then you hear it. You see your friend drop and then you hear the sniper bullet. I'm saving lives, people. Okay? And if you are listening to this podcast, you're already smart enough to listen to me, because anybody who listens to this podcast is on like a different... We're just on a higher plane of intelligence. It's just, that's the simple fact. Everyone else is dumb. The 90% is dumb. But we need those people. We need those people. We need the guy to be behind the register and go, "Is that all you want for today? Do you want to join our membership? Okay, can I get your number, ma'am?" We need that guy. We need that guy. Because without him, the world just doesn't run. You know what I mean? We need that guy just as much as we need nurses, just as much as we need doctors, surgeons, soldiers, and podcasters. Which is above all. And that's why you're listening to this podcast, because we're just on another higher plane of this, of just having minds. I went on a big tangent there, by the way, about everything. I don't know where that came from. I just kept going. Anyways, we're moving on. By the way, you're supposed to be going to bed by this, by the way. You're supposed to be going to bed to this. So I hope you're already asleep or you're getting there. You're counting sheep. Sheep are going over a fence. And you're counting them. I think the highest number I got counting sheep was 1,247. So, do with that what you will. But yeah, I think let me check the recording here. Okay, cool. Oh, we're only 43 minutes in the podcast. So 40 minutes, something like that. Okay. So anyways, but yeah, we need those people. We need those people to just, you know, I mean, I've personally known we had this man. I've known people who are very stupid, but that's okay because they're not bad to talk to. You just can't go too deep with them, you know? There was this man in our family. Let me tell you a story. We have special insults in our family. This is really messed up, by the way. I did not make this. I did not condone this. This is the previous people in my family. On my mom's side, we have special insults. Alright? called Douglas. We call people, if you're a boy and you're acting stupid or you don't get something, we call you Douglas. Douglas, the name Douglas. If you're a girl and you're acting dumb and you have a moment, you have a slip of the mind, as they would say, we call you Wanda. Do you know why? Because in our family, we have relatives with the name Douglas and another relative with the name Wanda. And they are mentally challenged. So, yeah, we just need those people. We need those people. They must be so happy though. You imagine how happy you can be if you're stupid? Ignorance is the most blissful thing ever. Sometimes I wish I was dumb. I do. I wish I was stupid, but I'm too above. I'm just too above. And, that's the thing. That's the thing with being smart, is it's actually a curse. It's actually a curse. It's a curse to be smart. It is. It truly is. And I feel bad for everybody listening to this podcast because we're all so smart that it just gets in the way. Because you just start noticing everything. You know what I mean? You just start noticing all the bad things. All the vapidness. How everything needs to be a show. The biggest American spirit thing I can think of. I'm feeling very patriotic today, if you can tell. The biggest American spirit I can think of, right? Okay. This is actually a real story, by the way. This is a real story. Okay, one day, had to be 5 years ago. It was summer. The sun was setting. It was about 8 p.m. I was sitting on my porch, watching a couple. Geese. There was two. We have geese around here. Right? I live in Minnesota, right? So there's geese everywhere in the summer from Canada. But so and they mate for life, if you didn't know. And what I mean by that is that when they mate for life, they stay with one partner. If you're not smart enough to know that, they mate with one partner for life, and if that partner dies, they never mate again. So this geese couple, they're obviously a couple because they were walking with each other. They were walking across the street that's in front of my house. And this white man, this Caucasian male with a mullet, his name was, you're not going to believe this, his name was Bob. His name was Bob. And he would drink Coors Light and smoke cigarettes in front of his autistic child. But anyways, this man with a mullet named Bob, this white male, was in his car that didn't have a muffler, so it would you could just hear it from down the block. I saw him pull up, right, as these geese were crossing. They were still crossing, they're in the middle of the road. I saw him pull up, right, and he was trying to go down the road. He stopped, and you could see him hesitate. You could see him, contemplate if he should wait. And so he pulls up. For about 5 seconds, he watches these geese. He watches these geese cross the road. And you see this look just appear in his eyes. And as the geese are still in the middle of the road, they waddle, right? They're slow. And you see this look just come over this man's eyes. And he just puts the pedal to the metal. And he just rams these geese. And one survived. The other one didn't. The other one, I watched their neck snap. And you could hear the smack. It went throughout the entire neighborhood. You could hear just the smack on the cement. And he pulls off really fast. And he just floors it out of the neighborhood. people start pouring out of their houses. There's just old ladies that come out and they're like, "Oh my God, did you see that? I'm calling the police. I have his license plate." It's just chaos. And you see the one duck that survived, not injured at all. It got away, right? You see it on the side of the road, standing on the side of the road, and you see the other duck laying dead, broken neck, feathers everywhere, smeared on the cement. You see this other geese just like staring at its partner. I don't know if it was male or female. They don't have any difference in feathers like other birds. Like, you can't tell which one's male or female. But it was just looking at its partner. And you could just see it processing, like, the shock. And then it just started, like, flapping its wings and, like, just, like, going, like, doing the geese quack where it's like, wah, 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 wah. And it just stood there for, like, 10 minutes going, wah, 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 flapping its wings. Long story short, Bob ends up getting addicted to opiates. He ends up getting arrested by the police, in jail for about 6 years after that. And he came back just this year. And his head is bald. And he's now taking care of his autistic son with his pill popper wife that's actually a lesbian. And to me, that is the most American spirit. That is the most American action. That is the most American spirit I've ever seen come from my fellow American. A alcoholic, pill-popping hillbilly with an autistic son in a beat-up, hoopty bucket with no muffler creams a goose's wife or husband onto the cement, drives away, never gets caught. 6 years in prison for opiates, goes to rehab, comes back, and takes care of his child because he's a man. That's what it's all about. It's about running over an animal's spouse and continuing on. He continued on. And to this day, he's continuing on. He's going forward. He's not looking back. He's not looking back at all. And that's what America's all about. You see it on the badge, on the army badge, with the American flag. It's pointing, they say it's pointing backwards, but it's not pointing backwards, actually. It's going forward. Because the wind's hitting the flag and it's going backwards. That's why. Because the wind's hitting the flag and that's like signs of it going forward. Because we continue on. World War III happens, we continue on. Because that's the American spirit. That's the American way. The most American person I know is Bob. He has a mullet. He is white. But you can't tell which kind of white. You can't tell if he's Italian or Irish or Dutch or German or... he's just a muggle-blooded white person. White, red, blue. White skin, red blood. And he probably backs the blue. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he does. I'm pretty sure he has a back the blue flag on his hoopty that he ran over the geese with. He is the American. He is the American. He is a opiate addiction, autistic son, lesbian wife. By the way, his wife walks down the street. She has the most scariest walk I've ever seen. When you see a lesbian walk, that is the epitome of fear. When a lesbian is walking down the street, when you're coming in collision with a lesbian walking down the street, that is how fear gets struck into your heart. And hold on, I gotta grab my charger actually because my laptop's about to die. Hold on, I apologize for the interruption. All right. All right. Well, as I was saying, when you see a lesbian walking down the street, I have very hairy legs, by the way. I'm sorry about that. If you have to look at that, if you see a lesbian walking down the street, there's a screaming going on. Anyways, that will strike fear in your heart, because the way they jaunt, they go like this. That's how they walk. They just do this evil stomp and sway. That's how she walks. And she changes her hair color every week. Every week she changes. I don't know how she does it, because you have to dye your hair a lot and it doesn't fall out. She's not balding or nothing. She has these glasses on and she yells at her autistic son to hurry up, because they walk to Dollar Tree, they walk to McDonald's, they walk to Walgreens, they walk to Hy-Vee. Do I feel bad? No. Because just like when you see a feral cat, when you see a feral human, they'll figure it out. They always do. She figured out how to get opiates and stay if that ain't a woman, if that ain't an American woman, then I don't know what it is. She figured out how to take care of her autistic child, who grabs knives, by the way. Her autistic child grabs knives and tries to stab people. He looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. Not Jeffrey, you fucking idiot. Jeffrey Dahmer. He looks like him. Walks around with no shoes on. That's fine. Because you know what? He'll figure it out too. You see feral humans, you see a feral cat, they'll both figure it out. Eventually, they will figure it out. They will. That goose, it'll figure it out. They always do. It's just the jungle for you. It's just the jungle. And on that note, we are going to wrap this podcast up very soon. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a pretty good podcast. I just want to say that, again, I have no idea. This is a pilot episode again. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with this podcast. I might have guests, maybe over Zoom, maybe in real life. I don't know. Definitely gonna try. If I build up an audience, I will try to do a Q&A. I'll actually put a Q&A on Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, you can put in whatever you want to type. You can type in your problems. You can type in a question. You can just type in a comment. I really don't care. But if you want to do that, you can do it. And maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. Maybe nobody will ever even type in it. It's fine. You can type it on YouTube too. I won't read it on YouTube, but you can do it. And yeah, so I might have a Q&A segment. I might have a reading your problems segment. I'm definitely gonna have a news segment, whether it's feel good news or if it's feel bad news or it's just news. All news is feel bad, by the way. There is no good news, but I'm gonna try to make you feel good with the news. I'm going to show you what news to look at to make you feel good. Even though I just told you to unplug, don't with me. I'll plug you in. I'll give you your ideas. But yeah, I hope you're sleepy. I hope you're already sleeping. If you are sleeping, good night. Sleepy time. Bedtime with Major. Bedtime with Major this is a very fun podcast. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could just rant like that. This is a very, 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 very good pilot. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had laughs. I hope you had some gaffs. I hope you have celery and milk in your bed. And I hope you're sleeping or about to sleep or you have bed bugs all over you. Get the bed bugs out of your skin. Get them out. Just get them out. And I love you. Have sweet dreams. Dream about me. Dream about sheep. Dream about Bedtime with Major. Dream about episode 2 of Bedtime with Major. I am drawing this out. I think we should end this. Thank you for tuning in. I'll leave links down in the description below. Main podcast, my Instagram. I'll probably create an Instagram profile, a YouTube channel for this. I'll link to the guy who did the voice for the intro. Yeah. Thank you for listening. This has been Bedtime with Major. Nighty night, sweet dreams. I love you.